Okay, picture this. You're at a cocktail party, right? Conversations are happening all around you, and you find yourself in a group, and everyone's talking about finance, and then boom, someone throws out a term like bull market, and everyone else is like nodding along like they totally get it. But wouldn't it be great to not just smile and nod, but to actually like jump into that conversation? Maybe even, drop a little bit of knowledge yourself?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how when you can speak the language, whether it's just for your own personal finances, understanding the news, like it really does give you a huge boost of confidence when you understand all these terms.
Yeah, it's a total game changer. And so that's exactly what we're doing today in this deep dive. We're going to equip you with that financial fluency. We've got this awesome guide to banking and investment terms. We go through everything you need to know, like from basic bank accounts to the stock market, even understanding those like kind of intimidating financial statements. By the end of this, you'll be decoding financial news like a pro.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about this guide is it's not just defining the terms right. It's actually walking you through scenarios, showing you how they actually play out in real life.
That's so key. So you're not just memorizing definitions, you're actually getting applicable knowledge?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you're saving up for something big, like a down payment on a house. You walk into a bank, you're ready to open an account, but then you're like, wait a minute, what type of account is actually the best for this goal? And thankfully, our guide walks us through the options here.
Yeah, and there are more choices than you might realize at first. You have your typical checking account, which is what most people use for their everyday transactions. Then you have your savings account, so you can earn a little bit of interest. And then there are these things called fixed deposit accounts, or you might know them as CD, certificates of deposit.
Oh, those fixed deposit accounts? Those sound interesting. I'm looking at the guide here, and I'm seeing that they offer higher interest rates, but you're locked in for a certain period of time. So it's all about finding that balance, right, between like earning potential and flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. And it really just comes down to what your goals are, and you know how accessible you need that money to be.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So let's say you're checking your balance online, which, by the way, is another one of those everyday banking terms, and you notice there's an unexpected withdrawal. What do you do?
Well, first of all, don't panic.
Yeah.
But I would say, remember what we've been talking about. You've got this newfound vocabulary. I would look for any transaction fees that might be listed, because that's often where that missing money has gone.
Oh, those sneaky fees.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's one of the big takeaways here, just being aware of those hidden fees that can really eat away at your balance. Checking your bank statements regularly, that is crucial. And this guide really emphasizes that.
It's so important, and it's easy to overlook. Okay, so now that we've got a handle on like keeping our money safe, let's talk about making that money grow. Because this guide takes us into the exciting world of investments. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, even real estate. It's like a whole new language.
It is, and it's a language worth learning. I think one of the key concepts here is understanding risk versus reward. So, for example, stocks have the potential to give you very high returns, but they also come with more risk than, let's say, something like bonds.
Okay, high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But the guide also mentioned this idea of diversification. Like don't put all your eggs in one basket. How does that play into minimizing risk when you're investing?
Well, think about it this way. You wouldn't, bet your entire savings on a single horse race, right? Diversifying your investments across different asset classes, it's like you're betting on multiple horses in different races. That's what spreads the risk and makes your portfolio as a whole more resilient.
Oh, I love that analogy. So instead of putting everything into stocks, you might have some in bonds, some in real estate to kind of balance things out. Okay, and now we're getting to some of the terms that you might actually hear at that cocktail party.
Exactly.
Like bull market. That's when stock prices are rising. Everyone's feeling optimistic.
Yeah, everyone's excited.
And then, of course, the opposite. The dreaded bear market. Prices are dropping. People are a little more cautious.
Yeah, feeling a little bit more uncertain.
It's like the animal kingdom of finance. But these terms aren't just these abstract concepts. The guide really emphasizes how they actually impact your investments. So like during a bull market, your stocks could be worth more. But during a bear market, you might see their value dip a little bit.
Exactly. And there are things like dividends. Those are payments that companies make to their shareholders. It's like a little bonus for owning a piece of the company.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey.
So even if the stock price isn't like skyrocketing, you're still getting a little something back.
Exactly.
I like that. But what about those companies that are just starting out? There's a term for that, right?
Yes, there is. You're talking about the IPO, the initial public offering.
Yeah.
Remember that new tech company that everyone was buzzing about a while back? They went public recently, which means they offered shares to the public for the very first time. That's an IPO in action.
Oh, wow. It's starting to feel like I'm actually speaking this language. We've covered bank accounts, investment basics, those animalistic market terms. What else is there?
Oh, there's so much more. Get ready, because this guide actually takes us behind the scenes of a company's finances with something called financial statements.
Oh, yeah, financial statements.
I know those words can sound a little bit intimidating at first, but trust me, they're super useful. Think of them like a company's report card showing you how they're managing their money.
Right, so if I'm actually reading a company's financial statements, what am I looking for?
Well, this guide focuses on the three main statements that you'll come across. There's the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. Each one tells a different part of the financial story.
Okay, so it's like you're piecing together a puzzle to get the full picture of the company's financial health.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start with the balance sheet. I feel like that one gets mentioned a lot.
It does, and it's actually a pretty simple concept. Imagine your own personal budget, right? You've got things you own. Those are your assets, like your car, your savings. And then you have the things that you owe. Those are your liabilities, like credit card debt or a student loan.
So a balance sheet is basically showing the company's assets versus its liabilities.
Exactly. It's giving you a snapshot of their financial position at a specific point in time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the income statement?
So the income statement is sometimes called the profit and loss statement. And it's all about tracking the company's revenue and expenses over a period of time. It basically shows you how much money they brought in, how much they spent, and ultimately whether they made a profit or a loss.
So it's like seeing if they're actually running a profitable business or not. Okay, so we've got the balance sheet, we've got the income statement. What about the cash flow statement? How is that different?
So the cash flow statement, this one's all about tracking the movement of cash in and out of the company. So it shows you where their cash is coming from, where it's going, and how effectively they're managing their cash flow.
Okay, this is starting to feel like I'm actually becoming financially fluent. I can see how understanding these statements would be really helpful for making investment decisions.
Oh, absolutely. They can reveal a lot about a company's financial stability, their growth potential, and just their overall management quality.
It's like having insider knowledge. But you know what I love about this guide? It doesn't just throw all this technical stuff at us. It actually gives us practical tools to use this newfound knowledge.
Right. You're talking about those real life dialogues that it includes. Yeah. It's like having a script for those sometimes intimidating financial conversations.
Exactly. Because it's one thing to understand these terms, but it's another to be able to actually use them confidently in real world situations.
Right.
Okay, so let's say you're back at that cocktail party we were talking about earlier, and the conversation turns to a specific company. Someone mentions their latest financial results, and now you actually feel equipped to contribute. You might say something like, their revenue growth looks really impressive, but I'm a little curious about their debt levels. Have you had a chance to look at their balance sheet?
See, that's not just dropping knowledge, that's starting a real conversation.
Exactly, and this guide gives us the language to do exactly that. It even has sample dialogues for talking with a financial advisor.
That's right.
Imagine you're sitting down with an advisor to discuss investment options. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and lost, you can confidently say something like, I'm really interested in diversifying my portfolio. What asset allocation strategy would you recommend based on my risk tolerance?
You're not just a passive listener anymore. You're an active participant in shaping your own financial future.
Exactly, and this guide gives us the tools and the vocabulary to do just that.
It's about moving beyond just understanding the terms and actually applying them to your own financial life.
It's like we've gone from feeling lost at sea in a world of financial jargon to being able to confidently navigate those waters.
Exactly. We've equipped ourselves with the knowledge and the language to not just survive, but really thrive in this world of finance.
I love that. But wait, there's more. This guide doesn't just leave us hanging with all this new knowledge. It actually gives us practical tips for continuing our financial education.
Yes, it encourages us to stay curious, keep learning, never stop asking questions, read financial news, watch videos, even role-play conversations to really make this knowledge stick.
Oh, I love that. It's like they've given us the keys to unlock a lifetime of financial learning.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get too carried away here, let's wrap up this incredible deep dive with a final thought-provoking question for our listener. One that encourages them to take everything they've learned and apply it to the future.
I love that idea. How about this? Imagine you're at that cocktail party again. But this time you're not just listening, you're actually leading the conversation. You're confidently explaining financial concepts, analyzing market trends, maybe even offering some investment advice. What does that feel like?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not just about understanding the terms anymore, it's about owning them, being comfortable with them, and using them to really shape your own financial future.
Yeah. It's almost like we've given our listener a superpower.
Oh.
The ability to decode this language of finance and actually use it to their advantage.
And with great power comes great responsibility, right? I mean, this deep dive has definitely equipped our listener with the knowledge, but now it's up to them to take action, keep learning, and ultimately make those smart financial decisions for themselves.
Absolutely. So to wrap up this incredible journey into the world of banking and investment terms, let's leave our listener with a challenge, a final thought-provoking question that encourages them to put all of this newfound knowledge into practice. Okay, I like that. How about this? Let's say you've done your research, you've been reading those financial statements we talked about, and you're ready to make an investment. You've narrowed it down to 2 companies. One is a well-established tech giant, everyone knows their name. The other is a promising startup in a cutting-edge industry. Which one would you choose and why?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. It really forces our listener to consider all those factors we've been discussing. The risk, the reward diversification, even a company's financial health. It's not just about knowing the terms anymore. It's about using them to make these informed decisions.
Exactly. And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's really about applying what you've learned, doing your due diligence, and making a choice that aligns with your own financial goals and risk tolerance.
So to our listener, we say congratulations. You've officially completed this deep dive into the world of banking and investment terms. You've gained valuable knowledge, practical tools, and a whole new level of financial fluency.
Now go out there and conquer the world of finance. We can't wait to see all the amazing things you achieve with your newfound financial literacy. Until next time.